Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion. I do have a doctorate degree in psychology, hence the comma PhD in my channel name. My other channels are below in my link tree and lots of other stuff I do, including charitable things that I'm involved in. So feel free to find me, stalk me, don't stalk me, but find me, follow me. Look into what I'm doing, and if you are inclined to help out with some of the things I'm into, then please do. And none of those things benefit me personally. The volunteer work I do benefits the homeless population and other people who write in or submit information in for goods and services. And so that's just part of what I do with my free time because I'm retired. I volunteer my time and energy. This video is about being honest with yourself about can't or won't. Sometimes you may ask someone something or they may ask you something and you may say, I can't do that. And in my mind, you can do a lot of things. Like you can't fly, you're not a bird. You know, if this person is not a millionaire, no, you can't buy a yacht. You know what I mean? So it's just certain things. Or if they don't have a car, no, they can't come and pick you up and give you a ride type of thing. A lot of things that people say they can't do, they just won't do. And when someone tells me I can't do that, I'll say why. And when they give a reason, it's just like, oh, you just don't want to. Be honest about you just don't want to. And it doesn't really matter what your reasons are for not wanting to do something. Just be honest that even if you can, just say you don't want to. And so a lot of times people don't want to say, I don't want to do that, because then you might say, well, why not? Versus just saying, oh, I can't, because in your mind it's like, okay, that's a hard pass. They're not going to do it. You see what I'm saying? So it eliminates some of the questions that they may get asked that they don't want to answer. So they'll just say, I can't do it versus I won't do it. But for me, because I am how I am, if someone says I can't do such and such, I'll say, why not? Because in my mind, I'm thinking they can, they just don't want to, because I kind of know how people think. And I kind of know a little bit about how people process their decisions. And so for me, saying I can't doesn't work. Especially if I know the person well and they're an intellectual person, I know that they can if they really wanted to. And if they don't want to, then they just won't. Just say you don't want to. Just be honest with yourself and honest with the other person. So just make sense with what you say. Be honest with what you say. And if someone asks you questions, just be open for a conversation. This is just about communicating openly and transparently with someone else. People may also just say they can't because they may be embarrassed about the reason. I was stressing the importance of communicating more openly about things. Because someone has said to me, oh, the last, 4 or 5 months have been really difficult for me. And I'm like, oh, that's surprising, because every time I would ask how you're doing, you would say okay. And it really did surprise me, because why would you say that you're okay and then you're telling me now for the last 5 or 6 months you weren't okay? The person said they can't communicate more openly with me. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't? Like, we're communicating right now. And I said, you are an intelligent person. You can do almost anything you set your mind to. And communicating is just having a conversation and being open about your feelings. If you're saying you won't work on communicating more openly with me, that's something different. But I know you can if you wanted to, because you are a mature adult and you know how to speak and you know how to share what your feelings are. And so then the person finally said that they won't because they didn't want to. And I was like, damn. And so that was the end of that situation, because if you are not wanting to openly communicate with someone, if you're not wanting to share your feelings with someone, if you're not wanting to be honest with yourself about how you're doing, especially if the person is asking you how you're doing, then that relationship or that friendship is not going to be a healthy one. And you probably should spend some alone time to figure out why you're unwilling to open up to someone else. Or If you are unable to open up to someone else, then that would be a situation where I would suggest going to therapy to find out why you're closed off to other people, why you feel like you cannot open up to other people, especially if it's someone you say you care about. And so this video is just understanding the differences between can't and won't, and also exploring why you can't or you won't, and also being honest with yourself about the reasoning and figuring out what's going on in your mind, to help you understand why you're making the decisions you're making, why you're doing what you're doing or not doing things that you probably should be. If you struggle with openly communicating with people, especially people you say you care about, then I do recommend therapy. And some people say, oh, therapy is not everything. It can be challenging finding a good fit, finding a therapist that you get along with, that you think or feel like really listens to you. And it's okay if you go to a therapist and you don't feel comfortable with that person. It's okay to ask for a recommendation to another therapist, or it's okay to go to the agency and say, I would like to see someone different next time. That is perfectly fine. You do not have to stick with whatever therapist you're assigned to. You do not, because going to therapy is about helping you grow as a person. And in order to do that, you need to be open with your therapist and be willing to dig deep into yourself so that they can help you figure yourself out. And from there, you can live a more healthy life and learn to be more honest with yourself, because then and only then can you be more honest with other people. And if you want to have healthy relationships and healthy friendships, being honest with yourself so that you can be honest with them is very important. And so I'm going to end this video here. Thumbs up if I gave you something to think about. And yeah, just let me know if these videos are helping you. And you will see me in the next one. Thanks.